Hello, this is my presentation for Seed 74. It's my engagement table. So the first activity I decided to do was an environmental issues kind of cause and effect sort of activity based on Canadian geographical and kind of economic environmental issues. And the sort of level of activity, I was kind of thinking this would be is more of like a 3 IPI level. So not all that high, but they're mainly engaged through looking up information and sort of doing the learning on their own, but with some of my own facilitating. And how this connects to our course material is through Marzano. Just for future reference, I use Marzano for all of my citations. But so Marzano, when creating effective assignments, he provides opportunities to practice skills, strategies, and processes. So doing this over and over again kind of gets them thinking into that cause and effect sort of thing. Like every major cause has consequences and effects that impact a lot of different variables versus kind of things just happening and there's not really anything that happens from it. So I think it's important to explain and analyze those. The next activity we did, or I listed, was a vocab words sort of activity, another IPI of 3. It's more of students working on their own with me facilitating and kind of helping out individually where certain students need questions. The vocab words, they'd be kind of look up and they would also draw them. So when using vocab in Marzano chapter 2, he says that to go a step further, they need to review and practice vocabulary words and create discussions that expound further thinking and elaborating. So having a vocab sheet that they also draw pictures and also maybe do discussion or creating their own questions or creating their own sentences, I think creates some valuable higher order learning. So they actually use the vocabulary words versus just kind of memorize them. So the next activity I did was a map scavenger hunt that I was kind of planning on doing for a variety of reasons, just because it's a kind of an active activity and gets them kind of dynamically involved in a lot of different ways. So it's mainly, how they use different tools and kind of problem solve and kind of an inquiry based, but use their resources and use maps to kind of follow clues. It's a lot of work, but I feel like they get to that upper level of 5 and 6 where they're relying on each other in small groups, they're working as a team, but they're also kind of doing the learning more tactilely and using all their senses and kind of learning how to navigate and do some of those higher order geographical skills on their own. So it kind of ties into stuff from chapter 3 where they're kind of doing more procedural knowledge, doing things in order and making sure they have all their ducks in a row, but then also getting into the game side of things, either competitive, non-competitive, or semi-competitive, and kind of demonstrating that some sort of enthusiasm with the content, some sort of fun, memorable activity that they can do. The next one is tied to a project-based learning activity. So more of an activity that requires them to apply some of the cultural aspects and to, write in a prompt and show visual and multimedia, that kind of thing. So they create their own presentation and they can create it based on a topic or kind of have a set parameters. It depends on the group, and you can differentiate, give them more open-ended to some higher level thinkers and to, kids that need that procedural type of thing, give them more of the fill in the blanks or maybe just, give them the topic they need to write about and kind of have them research, make sure they don't copy and paste and write at their own words, that kind of thing. So having them more introduce the type of thinking where they can get comfortable with creating an hypothesis and having arguments and making a conclusion based on what they learned, and also demonstrate kind of some new learning. I think this is a 3 mixed with a 6. 3 is in that I'd be helping a lot of the ones that need the help, but a lot of the other ones I kind of can just let them go on their own and do their own thing creatively. with creating like a multimedia kind of presentation. So the last one is more of a discussion-based activity where it's pretty short. They watch a YouTube video, give them a discussion question, and then they just roll with it. They go right into talking with a partner, talking with a small group. And I think that this gives them an opportunity to compare various points of views with each other, and also kind of discuss topics that are maybe a little more sensitive. But learning how to facilitate that, it would probably take a lot of modeling and having expectations for how they conduct those. But I think over practice and a lot of time, this is a very engaging activity that students can get involved with and figure out how to do friendly conversation with one another, so they can grasp the content in a little more of a way that what do you guys think about it, the why and how questions versus the memorization kind of things. So IP level 4 and 5, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for your time, and I hope this explains some of the activities that I'm doing in my class.